It's Dumb Guy Live, pre-recorded. We are recording this, everybody, on Thursday, June 8th. Tomorrow,
Dumb Guy
it's going
Live
to be...
Rampage.
That's right, Dumb Guy Live Rampage. It's going to be Dumb Guy Live Strong. In like 12 hours, we're going to be watching all together. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to that. Hoping Kento and Yuma show out in the main event. But before that,
Baby, kiss me
wanted
like a
to...
rock star.
Yeah, baby, kiss me like a rock star. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, you know the thing. Before then, we two of us have conflicts next Tuesday, normal Dumb Guy Live time. So in the meantime, what we thought would be fun is a cheeky little draft with the lads.
Draft, eh?
First,
Yeah.
I'd like to apologize for my absence last week. I know a lot of you guys watched the show. It did a great number. I didn't watch the show, so I'm assuming Parker said I was like at the Republican National Convention or something like that and doing something ridiculous. I actually graduated from high school, which was pretty cool, but Parker probably gave a very ridiculous response in where I was. So I'm just clearing it up.
I definitely said you graduated from school. I definitely said you graduated from something, I guess.
Conversion therapy?
Conversion therapy? That was a good... I should have done that one. All right, fellas, we're here. We're going to be doing a Joshi... Yes.
Yeah, you got it.
Anyway, let's move past that. That's water under the bridge. You've graduated already. The plan for today is a draft. Do you remember the Puro draft, doing that about 6-7 months ago? Y'all remember that? We will be doing the Joshi draft today to match up with that, which I am extremely excited for because, frankly, I have not gotten to dive into a lot of non-Stardom Joshi this year. I've just been busy, and frankly, it's been kind of worse than I usually think it is. So I'm excited to get a chance to talk about some wrestlers that we honestly wouldn't get to talk about that much on this show because, to be honest, our viewership's not really chomping at the bit to hear the latest seedling report. You know what I mean? We're mostly New Japan and Stardom, and then some Noah and All Japan and Dragon Gate whenever important stuff like that slips in. So you've got the rules and parameters. I'm just going to talk for a moment, go over how we're doing things, and then we're going to dive right in. All right. And we'll give, when you make your pick, give a little justification. Tell us about this wrestler, why you like them, all that type of stuff. All right. So here's the plan. It's going to be 15 total picks for each of us. So 45 total picks for the whole draft. We're going to do the actual Joshi draft will be 12 rounds. All right. Though that is the only time we can pick. We can only pick wrestlers who wrestle the majority of the time in Japan. Within that, we've made a little parameter where you can only pick a maximum of 8 from Stardom. So that means a minimum of 4 must be from companies outside of Stardom. And for the purposes of this, I think you guys would agree with me. People who are kind of freelancers, like if you're wrestling the majority of your matches in Stardom right now, like I would say Saori Ano, someone like Nanai Takahashi, I would consider those Stardom wrestlers right now. I think that gives us a little bit more creativity with some of our outside the box picks. All right. And then after that, we have a little bit of a treat because obviously there's just naturally a smaller rostership with Joshi than there is in male Puro, right? We're going to have a 3-round draft of who we would add from people outside of the Joshi sphere to our Joshi roster. All right. So that's the plan there. All right. You guys excited?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I've been waiting for the Joshi draft for a while, so I'm prepared.
That's right. So I've done our draft order randomizer, and with the first pick, it will be at Murph Burner, right below me. Murph, you're on the clock.
This is the easiest pick I think ever made. This person I think is the biggest draw. I think this person's the best wrestler. It's like they're not even close. My first pick is she started in Stardom. She went to WWE, and now she's back in Stardom. My first pick is the inaugural IWGP Women's Champion, Kairi.
Excellent.
Very solid.
Yeah, a year ago ish, I did a Joshi draft with on the 5-star Joshi show with Scott Edwards and Alex Richards and Dylan of Stardom Quest. And when I did this on my big board at that time, Kairi was my number 1. So completely down with this pick. Makes sense to me. Checks out all the boxes. She was not, however, the number one on my big board this time around. Only because I think a little bit, just a little bit of the shine has been taken off. She had a kind of underwhelming match, at least I thought, against Saya Kamatani late last year, and then she hasn't been, even though she hasn't obviously wrestled a full time schedule, she hasn't been presented quite as much like the insane special attraction that she was at this time last year. So, with all that being said, I am going to go with somebody who is the current IWGP Women's Champion, and that is going to be Mayu Iwatani, Stardom's ace, Stardom's rock, Stardom's most important wrestler of the last decade. I'd say she's the one who stayed between her, Kyrie, and Io. She's the one who stuck around, has been a main event talent. She had a long reign with the World of Stardom Championship a couple of years ago, and she just continues to feel important when she's in these main event spots. And there is nobody else in Japan who I would rather stick with the first pick on my team. So yeah, Mayu Iwatani.
Two very big picks to start off, as expected. I had my top of my board, so you've I'm shocked by the look of the draw. But my first pick, I'm going to pick the woman who I think is currently I think Mayu is possibly the best from this current generation. But I think as of right now, current form, I think Julia is the best in the world. So my first pick will be Julia, former World of Stardom champion, former Wonder of Stardom champion. She only recently just lost the red belt, but I think she's the best in Stardom at the moment on current form. So Julia for my pick.
She had that shortened that reign as world champion that didn't go quite as long as I think a lot of people thought it did after the classic with Tam Nakano. But I think, like, if you're just from an in-ring perspective in 2023, she's easily my women's wrestler of the year right now. When you include longevity, I think there's one other wrestler who's reached higher heights maybe, but including longevity and just frequency of matches, I think she's been the best in 2023. So the way we're doing this, y'all, is we're doing a snake draft to make it fair. So it's not just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 every time. So every time Jamie picks, he'll get 2 in a row, and every time Murph picks, he will also get 2 in a row, and then I will get every 3 picks.
To be honest with you, though, since I don't know anything about like current Joshi, I probably should have just done a normal draft, and I should have gone the first pick. But
well, it's still Jamie's turn. He's still on the clock, and yeah. So on just a little peek behind the curtain on my draft board, my top 3 were in order: Mayu, Julia, and Kyrie. So we have picked my top 3. I would have been surprised if it was anybody else.
Yeah. Okay, next on my board, my second pick of the draft, I'm going to go for the woman who dethroned Julia for the for the World of Stardom Championship. I think she's right behind Julia in terms of on form for this year. She had an incredible. I'm getting mixed up now. She had an incredible match with Julia to win that belt. It's my Joshi match of the year so far. The match with Mina, it was kind of divisive. Didn't live up to some people's expectations. I liked it, but I think it could have been a lot better for what it was. But I think for the last year or two, Tam Nakano has been absolutely incredible with the white belt reign, and then now with the red belt, double championship as well now. So yeah, my second pick is the double champion of Stardom, Tam Nakano.
I think that's a great pick. She's the double champ. She's the most important woman in Japanese wrestling right now. She was my number 4 as well. So everything is going chalk so far for the 4 of us. Murph, do you have a draft board over there? Do you have like a prepared thing, or are you just going on vibes?
I went in the cage match and I put Japan female, and I'm basically just rolling with that.
There you go. I'm down with that. Even though we're only making 40, I guess only 36 Japanese picks, my draft board goes all the way to 66. But there's a couple in that top 36 that are maybe a little bit surprising that I might make a value play on later on. Hopefully neither of you draft them. For this next pick, I'm pretty torn between 2. I could stick with Stardom here. Stardom has I would say 3
I
more
plan on going
wrestlers.
to Stardom the next one, so I'm
who-
hoping you don't steal my next choice here.
Okay. Okay. That makes me want to pick this person.
Oh,
Uh, to kind of game you a little bit. But there is one wrestler outside of Stardom that I have in my top 8 in Japan right now, and I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna be the first person to take a non-Stardom wrestler, and I'm going to go with Miyu Yamashita of TJPW. Murph's happy because I didn't pick who he wanted me to, or did I?
you didn't.
Okay, fair enough. I went with Miyu. I was thinking of one other wrestler from Stardom. I'm interested to see if Murph checks that box off in the meantime. But I think from an in-ring perspective and from an aura perspective, among active full-time wrestlers outside of Stardom, there's nobody who matches Miyu. Like she's just on another level from everybody in her roster. And frankly, when she's not on top, TJPW feels lesser to me, and I've seen other people express that opinion too. So if I can add her to my roster, I'm happy with that. I got the Mayu and Miyu with my first 2 picks here.
Okay, so I got 2 in a row here. I'm gonna go bold with my first one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with someone that I think's as good as anyone in the Japanese women's industry, even though she comes from a smaller promotion. I'm gonna go pretty bold here.
Mm-hmm.
From That's Marvelous Pro Wrestling, Marvelous That's Pro Wrestling, whatever it is, Takumi Iroha.
Ooh, I like it.
Sorry, I'm muted because there's a train going on outside as you can hear. But Iroha is, I gotta be honest, Murph, that's way outside the box for me. Iroha was not in my top 25 of somebody.
Well, I like Iroha a lot.
It's
With
reminiscent.
the next pick, I'm gonna go with a person.
Well, really quickly, Murph. It's reminiscent when I did the draft last year with those guys. We got to like I think it was round 2, and Dylan, he's at XX Ichiban on Twitter.
Mhm.
He picked you.
Yeah.
And like Chihiro Hashimoto was still on the board. And I was
I'm not
I
picking
was
you.
like, what?
I don't really rate you.
And then
But,
he
the
immediately
great thing is-
regretted it. He was pretty annoyed. But yeah, I'm down with that, Murph. Iroha's a great wrestler.
I got 2 in a row.
I think that's a great pick, but it's a very kind of under the radar one for this early. But I'm not mad at it.
And then I'm gonna go with someone. Well, I just wanted to get someone off the board who wasn't from there, and she was the best I could think of. And I wanted to go with. I'm gonna go with a Stardom wrestler here. I'm gonna go with someone who comes from a different background than most of these women. She used to fight in the UFC.
I knew it. God, you're on me, bro. This is who I was gonna get.
5-star match. For a woman in 20 years. Britt Baker should have before, but and that was actually sexist by Dave Meltzer for that. But I'm gonna go with the leader of God's Eye, Syuri Kondo.
I'm so annoyed
Nice
that
pick.
you
Nice
snatched
pick.
her up. I had it locked in. As soon as you were going to be done speaking, I was like, "Yep, give me Shuri." Now I have.
It's pretty wild that she's gone in round 3. I think there's a very strong case to be made that she's been wrestler of the year for the last 2 years.
It's a no-brainer in round.
That's a very strong pick.
Easy.
Here's when we get, once you get, because I think those, no offense, Murph, outside of Iroha, I think all of those top 6 would be a lot of people's top 6. I do think that there's one other person who could maybe sneak in to that group. No, I mean, there's a few other people who could maybe sneak into that group, but I think the most likely of somebody who would, when you account for not just what they've already accomplished, but their future potential as well, being, I believe, only 24 years old. I'm going to go with Utami Hayashishita.
I knew it.
There were a couple that I considered here. There's an ace in another promotion who I really like. There is somebody who some might argue has even more potential, but I don't think you can argue with Utami's career thus far. We're finally getting some fresh stuff with her after her long world championship reign. She sort of took it easy for a while, and now we're starting to see some friction in Queen's Quest, and I think that might mean she's going to be a lot of people's pick for the 5-star this year. So we might be returning back to Utami being featured. So yeah, that's who I'm going for in round 3. Again, it like 2 years ago, imagine telling somebody that Utami would be like the 8th person picked. It just tells you how deep it is, and especially when you when you push Tam, Shuri, and Julia to the extent that they've been over the couple of years, and of course you bring back Kyrie, it makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say she's had a relatively like quiet year or so for her standards. Obviously, after like a year long red belt reign, you know, she's been kind of she's been kind of absent from the main event scene for a little while. But I think with this current Queen's Quest stuff that's going on, she'll be back up there very soon. She was next on my Stardom board, which is
I'm curious, Murph. Would you have picked Mew in that round if I hadn't picked her?
No, I'm low on Mew, so I wouldn't pick her anyway.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you like the okay,
Right.
Jamie.
Okay, my next pick. Ooh, I have. This is annoying because I get 2 picks, but I have 3, and in my head that I'm like, oh, okay. First one, I'm going back into Stardom. I'm going with a very, very recent signing from Stardom.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way she's making it through this.
It's someone. Yeah, I think you're all thinking the same. It's someone I think who is like destined to be a red belt champion. Possibly could even do really like be up there in this year's 5-star if they want to rush it. Already positioned amongst the top of Stardom in that generational 4v4 tag. I'm going for Suzu Suzuki. I think it was a long time coming getting her signed. I think she's fully in now, and I think she's going to be one of the best, if not already the best in the world. So
great pick. Outside of Iroha, we've picked my top 8 on the board, which is I think is pretty remarkable. I mean, we're aligned, and it shows the hierarchy in Joshi right now. Jamie, give us pick 2 here.
Oh, I'm between 2. So this is where it gets tough because I'm going to pick one. I'm going to be very happy with it, and then one of you's going to pick the other one, and then I'm going to start regretting my decision. Okay, I'm going for a non-Stardom pick now. I'm going for someone who I think me and Parker both agree was the best freelancer before going to the WWE. Now back in Japan, I'm taking Saori.
Next pick.
All
I think
right.
she's been that first match she had back. It's top form. Delivered again on the Hana show. She's back fully in the swing of it. I think so far she's been knocking out the park. So I'm taking Saori.
I like it. She's just been great, and she is one who before she left, I've mentioned this on the show before. I had her as maybe my Joshi Wrestler of the Year. I think 2019. She's just incredible as a wrestler. Just frankly doesn't get the chance to show it that much. She hasn't shown back up in TJPW yet. She has talked about a little bit of Stardom stuff, so hopefully we get some more of that. But we won't count her as Stardom for the purposes of this. But yeah, I love the pick. She's incredible, and I'm just chomping at the bit to see what more she can do. That makes it kind of easy for me. I was there's like a group of like 5 that I was kind of deciding between, but I was really hoping that you weren't going to pick the next one on my board. The next person on my board you did not pick, and that is another non-Stardom wrestler. And it is who Saori faced in her return. It is Chihiro Hashimoto of Sendai Girls, who showed up in Stardom for a cup of coffee. She destroyed Mirai, and then she came in and had just a badass hoss fight against Shuri last month. Awesome wrestler, the quintessential ace of a promotion who you want. I'm pretty thrilled that I have 3 aces of their respective promotions in my first 4 picks between Mayu, Miyu, and Hashimoto. Throw in Utami. I think that's a pretty great first 4 picks. I'm feeling pretty good right now.
None of you guys read the rule book. None of you guys read the rules. The rules were wrestlers must wrestle in Japan the majority of the time. You never said they had to be Japanese wrestlers.
You can't. Well, yeah, I know you can't pick Mercedes if that's what you're gonna do.
What?
Come on now, get out of here.
Come on. No, Mercedes is not eligible for this.
Fuck.
She's eligible for the American one.
No, but she wrestles for she's a New Japan wrestler.
I understand what you're saying, but that's like not a thing.
She is that's bullshit. Oh.
Jamie, are you with me?
I'm with you, and I think like I know she just got injured. If she hadn't been injured, right now she would be the champion of New Japan Strong in America.
That's
she would be wrestling
New Japan Strong in America. Yeah, we would have, and she would have been the no-brainer first pick. So Murph got the realization like during the last round. He was like, wait a minute. I can pick Mercedes. No, you cannot pick
Okay.
Mercedes.
Oh, you're
Sorry,
something
sorry,
there.
Murph Burner.
Okay, this is easy.
She is eligible for the first one. And by the way, we're doing that in reverse order. So Jamie will pick first on that one.
This is so easy. Actually, I just realized another person. Pick the person who had a great white belt reign. I think she's like one of the best wrestlers in the company. Easy, Saya Kamatani. Bang.
Saya Kamatani was in my next two. Good pick there. I like it. I like it. She's had a quieter. Well, actually, she was white belt champ up until a couple months ago. But yeah,
I didn't watch anything from this year, but last year she was really good.
This year's matches, the Hazuki match was great.
Yeah,
that match was
I'll have to
excellent.
go back and watch that.
I think if we'd have done this draft maybe like 6 months ago, she may have gone earlier. I think that towards the end of her white belt reign, because it started to get a little bit repetitive. Some of the matches weren't hitting to the level of the earlier reign, other than obviously the final one and maybe the Hazuki one as well. Yeah, I think she's kind of been lower on people's like rest of the year list and stuff because of that. But all the same, still a great pick.
Okay, I'm gonna use another non-stardom pick right here. I'm gonna pick someone who I think has the most potential of any wrestler in Japanese wrestling, men or women. I think this wrestler is unbelievable. I think this wrestler is going to do really good things. And I'm going to go with a wrestler from the promotion of one of the Just Five guys. I'm going to go to the wrestler from JCO, Tomoka Inaba.
Okay, I'm done with that. I like it.
I'm devastated to hear this.
Are you? See, she was number 47 on my big board. I did not have her that high, but she's great.
Jamie did. I knew Jamie was going to get her. So
I think she's incredible.
You sure you don't want her sister?
There's a sister?
Yeah, she has a sister who just debuted, Azusa Inaba.
I'm not even going to ask a question. Okay, keep going.
Well, it's back to me. Okay, all right, Murph. You're thinking outside the box. You don't have to prove anything to us, buddy. We know you know wrestling. This is tough now for me. I think we've moved past a lot of people, like the big time, the entrenched aces. We've moved past the anybody who you could probably reasonably say as like a main eventer in Stardom, right? I think we're moving on to some places where you could pick anybody. And I have a genuinely anybody in my next like 15 I'd be kind of happy with right now. Gosh, it's tough right now. I'm not going to pick the person who's next on my board because I'm going to save them as a value pick and hope that she's around when we get back here. Who is good value right here? Man, I'm going to pick the person who's next on my list. I don't think Jamie was going to pick this person, but I really just want him on my team. It's going to be Saori Ano. Is my pick of sort of all over the place.
75 on my draft board, so we're good.
Okay, well,
she was very high up on my board.
Well, good. That makes me feel better. I did have somebody higher than her. I just don't think Jamie's going to pick her here. So we'll see. And if this person gets picked, I got some consolation prizes here.
Wait, is she Stardom considered?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, she is. I'm sorry. I was thinking I thought you were asking me the other person I'm considering. Yes. So as of right now, I've picked 4 Stardom wrestlers. So I'm halfway there.
Wait, I have you picking 3 so far.
Oh, no, you're right. My apologies. You're so right. Yes. So yeah, she was just incredible as Ice Cross Infinity champion, and ever since Step showing up in Stardom, she was maybe the best part of a tag team that also included Kairi and Natsupoi, which is saying something. So I'm super happy with this. She's somebody who Stardom could push as one of their top wrestlers if they wanted to. She's just that good.
Yeah, really great pick. I had no idea who you were about to go for there, and I'm interested to see who this value pick is.
And I may even stick around because I don't think Murph is that into this person either. So we'll see.
Well, now I'm very interested. Racking my brain. Okay, well, I've got 2 picks, so let me Let me take a look at my board. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go someone that I'm very, very high on at the moment. Currently a champion in the world of Joshi wrestling. The AAAW champion. I'm gonna take Mio Momono. I think she's got a lot of potential, but she's already one of the best in the world right now. So yeah, I'm happy with that pick, getting her in. Yeah, maybe earlier than I expected to, but a lot of my higher up picks have been taken as expected. So yeah, Mio Momono for my 5th pick of the draft.
I like it. She's just an incredible in-ring wrestler. Finally, the champion of Marvelous. Looking like she's finally getting that chance to step up and show up in a big way. She's in the main event of the Hanakamura Memorial Show, of course. Looking forward to seeing her continue to establish herself against the sort of older guard of Joshi wrestlers. When you think of people like Iroha, Arisa Nakajima, Sakasa Fujimoto, people like that. Still working on her getting to that place, I think. But I mean, she's AAAW champion. That's a pretty good start.
Yeah, when Murph when Murph was going for a slightly outside the box pick and he mentioned Marvelous, I thought he was going for Mio Momono, but he went for Iroha.
Yeah, I did too. She had in 2021 a run that went like a month long that was genuinely as good as like any wrestler I've seen in a long time.
From an unbiased Joshi fan, I just think that Mio Momono is a little overrated. So that's why I went with Iroha first.
The match is that she was in that that Gaia is a main event. She was the best part of that, matched up against Chihiro Hashimoto. She then had the singles match against Chihiro Hashimoto. She was also in what I think is one of the most underrated great matches. This is one of my 10 best matches of 2021. A 3-way Tomoe battle in the Catch the Wave tournament between her, Miyuki Takase, and Sakura Hirota, which a match that I had like as borderline 5 stars. I thought it was incredible. It was in the Ice Ribbon Dojo in front of like 40 people, but they went like 40 minutes and just incredible wrestling and near falls and back and forth stuff throughout the entire thing. So that was the match that I was like, wow, this Mio Momono is something else. You always knew she was good, but I was kind of associated her with Mei Hoshizuki at the time, now Mei Sarah. Now she's sort of on her own in Marvelous.
Right, decisions. I've got to pick a next one. See, I think I might know who yours is, Parker. But I think I might have worked that out. But I'm not sure if I'm going for this person.
Okay.
It's just tough. Do I go back into the Stardom? Oh, I'm not sure. Okay, I will. For my next pick, I'm going to take all 3 members of Restart off the board. I'm going to take Natsupoi. I think
nice. I like it.
I think since joining Cosmic Angels, she's been one of the best in the promotion. And she's doing it in the tag scene, doing it in the high speed scene. She's proven herself in like the kind of white belt, upper echelons of the roster spot now. I'm looking forward to seeing, mix it with a few other people in the 5-star. I think she could. I think she could definitely be one of the next white belt champions. It could be interesting to see how that works out with Tam currently holding it. But I think she's ready for kind of a little move up the roster. But I've been loving what she's doing so far. So I'm going for Natsupoi.
Nice. I like it. I'm gonna leave my number 10 on my big board on the board here. I don't think I'm gonna pick her because I don't think Murph is gonna pick her. And who am I gonna go with?
I have another out of nowhere pick. Colin.
Okay, that's fine by me. Continue to pick out of nowhere, people. Man, there's lots of good wrestlers out there. There's so many good wrestlers out there. I'm going to go with somebody who I think when they're on, they're like exhilarating. They also wrestle very differently just due to their sheer athleticism from practically anybody else in the Joshi scene. I would love to have this person on my roster as just somebody who you can throw into any feud, any storyline at any time, and you're going to make it unique. A great person to portray as I think a top heel because of their size and their athleticism. And sort of a monster that's really difficult for maybe a plucky babyface to beat. I'm going to go with somebody once again who is not Stardom. I'm going to go with Asuka or Veni as
very good pick.
The current Sendai Girls champion.
Overrated.
What?
Ah, come on.
You think Asuka's overrated?
Okay, now I'm gonna go with a real. This is actually pretty interesting.
You should pick Yuki Arai.
I'm gonna go with someone who's non-stardom because I want a little more flexibility later on. So I'm getting the 4 you have to get out. So here's what I'm gonna do. I wanted to pick someone who's the only women's wrestler in a men's company, and I tried to do that with Mercedes Moné, and you said no. So I'm gonna do it again here with someone who has.
Ayame Sasamura.
I don't even know what the fuck that is. I'm gonna go with someone who I think does really well with 2 gimmicks. She does 1 gimmick in Tokyo Joshi Pro, and she does 1 gimmick in DDT Pro Wrestling. I'm gonna draft her as Saki Sama, but Saki Akai.
Ooh, I wrote down Saki Akai in pen, unfortunately.
That's
I'll
right.
have
It's
to
Saki
get that.
Akai.
I also did the same. Retiring soon, right?
Retiring very soon. Yes.
What?
You didn't hear about
Did you not
this?
know this?
Bro, she's retiring, dude.
Can I repick them? This is a current.
No, it's still. I mean, she's
No,
still
she's
as
still,
good
she's still
as.
active for the time being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Like if Yuka Sakazaki is eligible, I think Saki Akai should be too. Yeah. No, I think she's great. I probably wouldn't have had her quite this high. But I just think so. As Saki Sama, she had a great Princess of Princess Championship match against Miyu Yamashita a couple years ago. She was an essential part of Eruption, which a lot of people had as one of the best acts, or maybe the best act in DDT since the start of the pandemic. She was incredible in that in the 6-man tag match when they took on Nautilus. For if you remember that match, you remember the sort of epic that they had, and then they went into the tag match, and Saki wasn't a part of it, but she just got like her ass kicked by Naomi Yoshimura. It was really kind of brutal, and she just fit in perfectly.
Versatile wrestlers, which brings me to my next point, which I can't believe this person's still on the board. Like, I'm shocked. I'm gonna pick someone who moves fast. You could even say high speed. I'm gonna pick one of the youngest professional wrestlers to ever been debuted, and also someone who's like a 10-year veteran, and she's only like 20.
Are you picking Riho?
No, I know.
Azumi.
Oh, Azumi. For a sec, I thought you were picking Riho. Yeah,
I'm not allowed to pick Riho. I thought.
Yeah, no, you're not. That's why I asked.
Riho
Azumi
would have been the top 3 if I could.
Good pick. I did not have Azumi quite this high. I had her actually down all the way down at 38 on my big board. I would not have probably gone with Azumi.
I have a couple of Stardom picks ahead of her, but not too many. So
yeah, let me count how many Stardom people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have like 8 Stardom wrestlers before her on my list from here on out. So yeah, but I mean, she is as good at the high speed style as anybody. And I think if you want to go that route with your Joshi roster, I think that's not a bad choice. Now, who do I go for out of all these wrestlers? I'm deciding between 2. And I think I'm just gonna freaking go for it. I am gonna go for finally number 10 on my big board. One of my favorite Joshi wrestlers in Japan. She's easily my favorite wrestler in her promotion. I think she is easily a top 2 wrestler in her promotion. I am happy to get the top 2 wrestlers from the number 2 promotion in the in Japan, and that is going to be Rika Tatsumi. Is that who you kind of thought you had it sorted out for me? Yeah. She's just great.
Your non-stardoms off the board.
Well, you can. It's minimum non.
I'm saying that you.
Yeah. So that means I can pick anybody from here on out. It's great. So no, I just think she's awesome. I just think she's a great wrestler. I'm more of a fan than most, but down here, I still think this is good value. Again, I had her number 10 on my big board, and I got her at pick number. What is this? 20. So I'm pretty thrilled with that. That there.
Very nice pick. Yeah, she was super high up on mine, but I have a couple more Stardom people that I want to get in because you know how free range over Stardom, because you've kind of you've used your picks quite wisely. So I'm going to try and take the next 2 best Stardom wrestlers, which is.
I hope it's not because I have 2 next up, and I really hope it's not these exact 2. I'm going to be annoyed.
Oh well, now I want to get it right. Okay. First, I'm going to go for someone who is probably my favorite Stardom wrestler from an in-ring point. I think super underrated, maybe the most underrated in the whole promotion. A former white belt champion, but has done little of note to the same level since. I'm going to go for Oedo Tai's Momo Watanabe. I think she's someone who could be on a red belt level. I think if I had the pen, she would have already. But yeah, and I think even with the switch to Oedo Tai, I think her style's improved. I think she's even more brutal now than she ever has been, and I think she's someone who I think she just should be doing more, really.
This was not one of my two.
Oh, damn. Okay, hopefully. Let me try and think.
Hey, Jamie,
Okay.
I think I remember. Who was your last pick?
Momo Watanabe.
Right. That's right. I had a brain fart.
Let me just write this down.
I love Momo. I think she's great. She has an edge to her. She's violent. She's hard hitting. She's not afraid to be a heel. A lot of times when people move to Oedo Tai, I think they sometimes struggle to embrace that a little bit fully. Momo had no trouble at all moving over with that.
Okay, next pick, another Stardom wrestler, and I'm hoping this is one that you've got up there. I think it should be, unless I'm forgetting someone big. I'm gonna go for Micah of Donna Del Mondo.
That was one.
Yeah, I think she's in for a very, very big year, possibly a very, very big 5-star. The kind of position are possibly moving away from Donna Del Mondo at the moment. There's a lot of moving parts in Stardom, especially with this Queen's Quest thing, and Soriano maybe. I know she's only just joined, but she's got a bit of beef with Natsboy. So I think there could be a new faction on the horizon, and I think Micah could be a big player there. And just I think since the Himeka match, which was obviously one of my favorite matches of the year, on a crazy show, I think she's been on a great run. So Micah is my 8th pick of the draft.
I like it. I think it's classic. She's great. She definitely seems like somebody who's up next. The retiring Himeka was so huge for her. She just came across like a really big deal in that. I really hope we get that, whether it's with Saya or whether it's Utami, that future stable when you throw Suzu and Meisera in there. It just feels like it makes sense. I'm ready for Micah to move up. She's been at this level for years now. She has shown that she's more than ready. She has improved so much since joining, and she is I think she's like the best. She is the type of person more than anybody else who I would want to put in as like my main event gatekeeper role. She's an incredible seller. She effortlessly moves between being like a brutal sort of semi-shooter, hard hitter type on top versus being like an underdog on bottom, who just gets the shit kicked out of her. She's so great at both. So I love that pick. I am going to go with the other Stardom wrestler who I considered in this point. It's actually not the next person who I have on my board, but frankly, with my roster, I don't want this person. I would rather stick with I want to go with a different company. I'm going to go with Hazuki, who I think is who
Momo, Hazuki, and Micah were kind of the three that I was like, oh, I don't know. But I'm really high on Momo Watanabe, so I put her in there. But Hazuki she's another one who's like ready to be in, the kind of white belt, red belt. And, she's had their title matches, but I think it's time to, I was pulling for her to win that white belt off Saya, but we never obviously got it. But yeah, great pick.
Yes, I was too. She and Koguma anchored the tag division last year. FWC was a fantastic tag team. She had one of, I would say, probably the 3 or 4 best runs in the 5-star last year too. And you know me, if this is my promotion, I'm booking a round robin tournament. And I want people who are going to show up and show out in these round robins. And Hazuki is about as reliable as they come from an in-ring perspective. So, and another person who can play babyface and heel, I think both spectacularly, as we saw earlier in her career with her Oedo Tai work, moving on to being just pure white meat babyface in Stars since coming back. So yeah, Hazuki.
Okay.
Murph hasn't said a word in like 5 minutes. He's been thinking. He's been
what is his plan?
Searching the web for my next.
What is he? He's been Googling. I'm
gonna go with a person who is my favorite in their respective company. She's currently the world champion. but she's been having to defend against Nao Kakuda and Sawyer Wreck. So it's not like she's been I don't even know the fuck Sawyer Wreck is. Sounds like a porn star. I'm not
Sawyer Wreck
even,
is GCW, like deathmatch person.
so basically, yeah. So I haven't. This person has not had the best title reign, but because of it's the worst book promotion in the world. But I'm gonna go with Mizuki, who I think is really, really good, and she's very good. And I'd love to see Azumi versus Mizuki in a nice high speed match.
I think that match would be great.
Okay, my next person. Ooh, okay. I got a good pick. This person is a freelancer who I think is a really, really good wrestler. She's been having a bit of an off year. I will have to say that. But, it's at one point she was one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I'm going to go with Miyuki Takase.
Ooh, I like that. I'm down with that. A couple years ago, the first time I ever did one of these was with Scott. He and I just did one on our own. And we only had like 24 total picks, I want to say, and there were some like pretty heavy restrictions. And I still made it an effort to pick Miyuki Takase. So I would say her star has fallen a little bit. Obviously, Actress Girls completely revamped what they are. She was their second to last champion in that promotion before they changed, and she still hasn't really just found her spot yet. She's been spending a lot of time in Wave, which is not the best promotion,
No,
in my opinion.
It's better than O's Academy, I will say. So, it's fine.
O's.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, whatever.
Is it Oz Academy?
It is Oz Academy.
Who fucking cares? But
yeah, I would say her star has fallen a little bit. She was a lot lower on my board than I would have had her a couple years ago, but it's not like she was, off my board or whatever. She's in the mix. Oh, and it's back to me all of a sudden. Yeah, you're done with Stardom, yes, Jamie?
I have Stardom picks. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Sensational. So I don't have to pick a Stardom person here.
Wait, so,
I can
hold on. So how many we're doing? Are we doing 8 from Stardom, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking it was. Sorry, I had it.
Yeah,
in my head
I have 2 more.
for
I have
some
2
reason.
more.
My apologies. So maybe I should pick Stardom.
I panicked then.
Man, there's just all the. I feel like the restriction. Murph may have been right about limiting the restriction a little bit more. There's just a lot of really great wrestlers outside of Stardom that I just haven't gotten a chance to see that much of recently. Okay. I really don't want. See, there's people on the board who I think are great, but out of my next 4, out of my next like 7, there are people who there's a reason they fell to this point. Either they're not the most reliable in-ring wrestlers, or they're in a promotion that I'm not a huge fan of, or I think it would be bad value because I don't think you guys are going to pick it. So I'm just kind of talking you guys through what I'm thinking about next here. But this person is number 14 on my big board, and I think it would be a disservice to let them fall anywhere past 25. I'm a big fan of this wrestler. I cannot believe that I have 3 TJPW wrestlers on my roster, but I'm going to go with Maki Ito as my next pick here. I just think she's awesome. Like she's just a stellar wrestler. And
I thought you didn't like Maki Ito.
I didn't like Maki Ito when she was bad at wrestling. And I didn't like that everybody's like, oh my God, this freaking cute Japanese girl said fuck. Like, what? Are you kidding me right now? I thought that was really stupid.
Can we stop real quick?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Cage Match. I didn't know Marika Kobashi started wrestling again. Like, I wasn't going to pick her, but like, she wrestles now.
She wrestles in PPP Tokyo with Chan Yota.
Well, I thought she retired.
Whoever else wrestles there.
Everybody's favorite promotion. That promotion, I think, is a money laundering scheme and maybe some sort of prostitution.
Half of Japanese wrestling right now, man.
She did New Blood one time, I think.
She did do New Blood.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Asai. I'm gonna go with Ito here. I'm looking down at the bottom of my
Asai, Yoshihiro Asai.
Yeah, Yoshihiro Asai. I'm gonna draft the innovator of the Asai moonsault, who will not be losing his mask next month.
Of course not.
Okay. All right, Jamie.
Ooh, tough spot now. I have two picks. I have two Stardom picks left. I could do them both now and try and take
Could.
the best Stardom wrestlers that are left, in my opinion. Or I could go for some freelance names. I don't know what to do.
I'm still in another spot where I see two that I think are a cut above the rest in Stardom right now.
It's tough. It's tough. Let me try and think. You might have to give me a moment. Right. Let me take a look at the board. Okay. First, I'm going to go for a Stardom pick. Right. I'm deciding between two at the very, very last moment. Okay, right, I'll go for it. Someone who I definitely would not have drafted anywhere near the top of the Stardom board about a year ago, but
Yeah,
someone who I
yeah.
now think is in like the Women's Wrestler of the Year like discussion. Mina Shirakawa kind of like went from, you know, kind of the bottom end of the roster to, you know, just having these unbelievably good matches for where she was a year ago. The match with Saya was unbelievable. You know, I thought it'd be good because I think that their first one was great, but it went to a whole other level. And then the match with Natsboy as well, I thought was incredible. Like I said before, the one with Tam wasn't as good as a lot of people thought it could be, but I still think it was good. I don't think it was a bad match. And yeah, she's just kind of like, she got the star power. She's a faction leader, and obviously didn't get the reign she would have liked. But you know, I think she'll be back with another big title reign soon enough. So Mina Shirakawa is my 9th pick, and now I've got to do this whole decision making process again.
Yeah, I'll talk. I'll talk about Mina while you consider. I think Mina has just been. She's improved beyond any conception that I ever thought she would be. I would say before she lost the title to Tam, she was the hottest women's wrestler in Japan. In terms of just how over and popular and how much momentum she had. She has her own stable, which I think was pretty inconceivable a year ago too. But I mean, yeah, it just shows what can happen when you put the work in and you get over organically. And sometimes you get a little lucky break, like Becky Lynch did when Nia Jax broke her face. Same thing happened to Mina Shirakawa, right, with Saya, and you put it all together and you get an incredibly improved wrestler and somebody who arguably is even a steal this low in the draft.
Yeah, yeah. When you consider the year she's having, I do think she's gone a lot, like, you know, really low. But I think that's kind of you know, the preconceptions of what she was about a year ago that are kind of still saying she's only recently hitting this level. So I think she kind of slides under the radar a little bit. Right. Okay. Do I take my last Stardom pick? Yes.
The last one.
My last one. Okay, then I have to go freelance for the last few. All right. My last Stardom pick. It's really tough. Big decision. There's a lot of good people still left.
To me, it's not tough. Whoever you're deciding between, to me, it is not tough. I don't know who you're thinking about.
It's a case of my brain's completely frozen. I'm trying to go through the entire, like, every single faction real quick and make sure I'm not forgetting anyone major. Let me think. Right. Okay. It's so tough. It's so tough that I might not do the Stardom pick. Right. Not Stardom pick. I'm changing.
Okay, all right. He's gotten cold feet.
I'm having second thoughts. I'm going for a freelancer. I'm going for another one of the freelancers who I think could have been arguable that she's maybe the best freelancer going. I think there are a few that have now usurped her, but I think she's really high up there. I'm going for Maya Yukihi.
I like
had
it.
a really great red belt title match early on in this year, and I just think she's super consistent. Someone who could be like a top level champion in, you know, almost any promotion that they'd find themselves in. So yeah, Maya Yukihi is my 10th pick of the draft.
I'm just pointing out, literally like half of your roster has wrestled in Ice Ribbon at some point, and like 3 of them were pushed acts in Ice Ribbon. You know, I've always got that. I've always got that in mind. No Ice Ribbon wrestlers picked yet, shockingly. Not gonna pick Totoro Satsuki. Not gonna pick Yappy. Come on, that's the next
Honestly,
title match,
if
y'all.
you're picking a roster, you wouldn't want Yappy on your roster because you would just complain anyway.
All right, man. Come on. you gotta chill. We everybody deserves to advocate for themselves in wrestling.
I don't
Okay.
think there's a lot of crossover there. I'm not worried.
I am going. All right, thanks, buddy. I am going to get I am going to get the other Stardom wrestler that I was considering at this point. I have 2 lined up for my last 2 picks, and I'm hoping I get them. I'm feeling decent, like I will, but I'm not sure. And then I have obviously some very good consolations if not. But for my third to last pick of the main draft order, right? We're in round 10, correct? I am going to go for somebody who I have maybe you could argue I have a couple sort of high speed adjacent wrestlers, but I have a lot of hard hitters on my roster, and I think we need someone who could be considered like a flyer, high speed type of wrestler. I think Starlight Kid is the last of the sort of upper echelon of Stardom wrestlers.
That was my next pick.
That makes me really happy because I'm always.
That was who I was about to pick too, and I got cold feet, and I was like, oh, I don't know.
Ooh.
See, that's fine by me. And to be honest, Jamie, not talking down on your pick. I didn't have Maya Yukihi in. She was around. Where was she? She was like 36 on my draft board, so not a crazy like reach on mine. But I still had 10, 12 wrestlers on the board who I would have gone for ahead of Yukihi. But yeah, the Starlight Kid, incredible potential. I still think she hasn't realized it, but. If this is me, I've got Mayu and Starlight Kid on my roster. We're doing Mask versus Title at the fucking Budokan. It's gonna happen, and I can book stories around that mask. I'm very happy about Starlight Kid all the way down in round 10. Sorry, Murph.
I love it.
Truly, I don't think there's any Stardom people I want to pick left. Really, like I don't. Who am I gonna pick? Kevin? Am I gonna take
Kevin?
Am I gonna take Mirai? No.
Yeah, what are you gonna pick, Mirai? No, because you're not crazy.
Okay. With my next pick, I'm
you could pick.
I'm gonna go with I'm actually my next 2 picks. I want to have a little death match division.
Okay, I like this.
My first one's gonna be Arina Yamashita.
That's a great pick. I thought I was going to have her higher than pretty much anybody. I didn't think she was going to get drafted. That's a really good one.
And I bet I can convince another person on my roster to do a death match. I don't know who, but I'm just going to pick another death match wrestler to be sure. And that's going to be 1/3 of the Up girls, Hikari Noah.
I wrote down in pen, Risa Sarah because I was so sure of who you were going to pick, and you went with Noah.
To be honest with you, I don't really like prominence outside of Suzuki, and she's out of there now. So maybe we're gonna pick Kurumi Haragi. No, so
Hikari Noah was not on my board.
Well, you don't know ball, so you see, I know I'm not gonna outduel the Joshi guys and just pure like Joshi, like shit. So I'm just gonna pick the most batshit insane roster, and I'm just gonna let that be my thing.
It's your roster, broski. Okay,
just wait till my last pick. You are going to be. You don't know what's coming. You don't know what's coming. I promise.
Yuki Arai?
Oh no! That's so normal compared to who I'm actually picking. This
Ram Kaicho?
No, not even close.
Well, now I want to think. Pokotan,
buddy.
Peter.
Who the fuck's Peter?
You know who Peter is?
You don't know Peter? Come on.
Yujiro?
Oh, the Muffin ass.
Bad Luck Fale's ex-girlfriend?
Muffin 030S, as Don Callis.
Yeah, obviously. Peter. Okay, anyway. There are 2 people who could be considered aces of Seedling at one point who I want to pick here. This is I am not going to fill out my Stardom roster, which makes me think I should have put more of a restriction on it. But regardless, I think this makes sense. There are just talking about some other people I was considering that I probably won't get to draft. Ami Saray, I adore. She's fantastic. But we can get onto this, I guess, afterwards. We'll talk maybe about some of the best wrestlers who weren't picked.
Mhm.
I thought you were gonna pick Risa Sarah there for a second, Murph. And I do have somebody down in my 39 spot who I think Jamie is going to pick, and I'm excited to see whether that is somebody who I'm lower on than a lot of people, but a lot of people
Can I
really like it.
petition so we can? It's so ridiculous because it's a snake draft, and Jamie's gonna pick his two, and then you're gonna pick your one. Now I'm gonna just pick my one. Do we have to reverse the board for the Americans? Like, do we have to do that for the American promotions? We just keep it going.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sorry, you don't get to pick Mercedes. You don't get the number 1 pick in both drafts.
I wasn't
Yeah.
even gonna pick Mercedes. But okay.
Then yes, you can. Then yep, we're gonna go ahead and reverse it, and I'm gonna pick second, and I'm gonna get Mercedes. No, okay. So yeah, so I really like both of these wrestlers. I think they're two of the legends of Joshi wrestling in the 21st century. Um, I'm gonna go with the sentimental pick. I'm gonna go with Nanai Takahashi, who is, I think, a beast. I knew Murph was never gonna pick this person, so I never really worried about her coming off the
only
board.
reason I'd pick her is be like the jobber, take all the losses. You see, I'm in charge now, bitch. You delude
She has done a stellar job with these passion injection matches for the most part.
Mhm.
I think she's just incredibly entertaining, and when she's on and actually wrestling like a legit tag match, she's still one of the best in the world, in my opinion. A year ago at about this time, she was wrestling in Tsukushi Haruka's retirement match, and I thought that match was the match of the year last year. And if I can get somebody who was in the freaking match of the year last year on my roster, I'm going to take it. A legend. I have all these young wrestlers on my roster. I have all these people like Miyu and Utami and Asuka's super young still. Hazuki's super young. Ito's my age. Starlight Kid is crazy young, right? Time to get a veteran on the roster. We'll get some Nanai here. Living legend.
Nice pick. Definitely one that Murph wasn't going to get, but I was considering it. I have one Stardom pick left, I believe. So I need to use that wisely. But there's not. I would say all the, like you pointed out before, the kind of really top.
Yeah, there was
level.
definitely a cutoff, I think, after Starlight Kid that made it. There's, not to steal your thunder a little bit, but there's Risa Sarah, right? She's still she might kind of count. There's Ami Saray. There's I don't know. There's like you might count. Saya Ida, Mirai, May Sarah. But anyway, I'll stop stealing your thunder. Who are you gonna go for?
Right. So I have two picks. So I might as well get my I'll get my last Stardom pick in, I think, because I have one more that I'm trying to decide who I like more out of these two Stardom wrestlers. Tough, very tough. Okay. Okay, another very, very recent addition to Stardom's roster, and someone who's going to bump up my high speed ranks. Someone who I believe will probably get the high speed belt next. Probably. I'm going to go for May Sarah, formerly of Marvelous.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm looking at. I don't have too many high speed picks in there, so I think I definitely need at least one big name in there. So I'm reasonably happy with that one. May Sarah, and then
she's only had a couple matches since coming back. Like she was gone forever, and throwing it back to the draft that I did a couple years ago, she was I was kind of left because you had to pick at least one roster. I think one roster member under 20 was one of our restrictions that we did, and Scott snatched up Azumi, who at the time was under 20, and after that there was not. It was like slim pickings, and I had to go with Mei Hoshizuki at the time. So I was like a year later. Like 4 of the wrestlers on the roster were not active. It was like Sakushi was gone, Mei was gone, Nanai wasn't wrestling, and Yoshiko wasn't wrestling. So, and now Tsukasa Fujimoto wasn't wrestling, and she was also on my roster. So, anyway, Jamie, close us out. Who's going to be your final pick of the draft?
Final pick of the draft, right? Let me take a look. So all my Stardom picks are gone. Which is
man, you should have picked Mirai.
Damn, no one's going to draft Mirai. The two-time Cinderella tournament winner. Really? Oh, damn. Okay. Last pick of the draft. Got to be a freelancer. or I guess like a TJPW wrestler. But I think all the good ones have been picked.
I like that Yuka Sakazaki is still on the board. Shoko's still on the board. Yeah. It's Miyu Watanabe is still on the board.
That's not a bad shot. I'm probably the highest on Miyu there of all of those. Damn, that's not a bad idea. You're giving me ideas here. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna take Mika Iwata of Sendai.
Ooh.
Yeah, out of nowhere pick.
It is a little bit out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think she's someone who's I don't know. She's never really got like the kind of run that I think a lot of people would like to see from her with the belt. But I think she's
Iwata good.
I think she's pretty good. I have not been blown away by her. I think she's very solid.
I'm gonna be honest with you. If Mika Iwata slapped me in the face, I wouldn't know who she was. I assume she's good because Jamie has good knowledge, but that was not someone I was thinking of here.
Yeah, she was down at 46 on my board. She was behind Mirai. So I guess that
I bet you, Parker, I have someone that isn't on your board for my last one.
I'm sure you do. It's someone freaking random. It's like some Dragon Gate freak. It's like Sai or someone who shows up in Dragon Gate and does like goofball matches. Or like all caps Saki, who did a storyline with.
I'm a big fan of all caps Saki, but that was not who I was going to go with.
Okay, Mika Iwata closing it out. Solid. Okay. I'm just going to talk about it out loud. I have 3 people who I'm deciding between right now. They are Arisa Nakajima, who was the other person I was considering in my
now I want to pick all cap Saki because I really like her now.
Then I don't give a shit because she's not who I'm considering. The Arisa Nakajima is one of those people. The other 2 people are current Ice Ribbon and former Ice Ribbon. I want someone sentimental, a personal favorite on the team. Ibuki Hoshi, I think, is the current best wrestler in Ice Ribbon, and I think she is one of the best, maybe the best wrestler under 20 in Joshi. I think she's better than Hanan. I actually think she's considerably better than Hanan, and the best wrestler in Ice Ribbon. I mean, that's saying something. And then Asahi is at one point was my single favorite wrestler in Japan from the women's side, and she has left Ice Ribbon. She is now an Actress Girls, a promotion I don't watch and will never watch because it's not actual Actress Girls. It's like they're like kind of wrestling, but they're kind of not. It's like if the entire roster was the Up Girls, Murph. And Murph's thinking like, "Oh, that's pretty good." But
actually skipped the dancer team before Tokyo Joshi Pro Show.
Oh no, you skip it? How could you? It's the same thing every time. Like, who gets into that anyway? This is tough.
That's what I
love Asahi, but if she stays in Actress Girls for the rest of her career, I probably will literally never watch a match of hers again.
Are you? Oh.
Arisa Nakajima, people are going to be stunned if she's.
What happened to Yuki Mashihiro?
She retired.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, Suzuki retired her at the New Year's Eve show. That's right, the Gacha King. I would have absolutely picked her.
He came in 10th. Yeah, David Meltzer Wrestling Observer Rookie of the Year. It was a big deal.
That's right. And then Ibuki Hoshi is just so freaking good. I'm playing. You know what? This is a perfect compliment. She is going to go under Nanai Takahashi's wing as another Haas hard hitter, no sell. I wrestle different than everybody else on the roster type wrestler. I'm doing Ibuki Hoshi. The single best chops in wrestling, better than Gunther, better than whoever you want to say. Ibuki Hoshi is my final pick. I'm thrilled. I love it.
I kind of blanked on Ice Ribbon just because I've not been not really been tapped into the soul.
I will never blank on Ice Ribbon. I can't. It's not in my capacity to blank on Ice Ribbon. So I ended up only drafting 6 Stardom wrestlers for my 12.
I only did 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm really intrigued.
You haven't picked a Stardom wrestler since Azumi.
Here's my last pick. This person is not very good, but you know, she's very versatile. The music can work. I'm picking someone who is also known as Super Shenlong. I'm gonna pick Yosuke Santa Maria, just so I can get some exotico representation on my show. So my last pick is Yosuke Santa Maria of Dragon Gate.
Okay. I did not. I would never have guessed him. Although I kind of got adjacent with the with the Saki shout, didn't
I'm so
I?
DG Mecca that I kind of have to do like a Dragon Gate, but you know, so
You went
Yosuke Santa Maria.
Yosuke. Good job. Good job out of
I
you.
don't know if
But
Yosuke Santa Maria even wrestles anymore. She hasn't wrestled since
yeah, I
November.
was gonna say she hasn't wrestled since Gate of Destiny last year.
No
Is
one
she
really
retired?
knows what's up with that.
Huh.
There's a lot of shit going on in Dragon Gate right now. I haven't really thought about it, but you know, Yosuke Santa Maria is my last pick.
Super Shenlong. Man, that's crazy.
Kung
Well,
Fu Masters.
yes, I did not expect this pick. I'm not sure what her place is on this roster.
Pan Eater, Fall Post.
Yeah, okay. I guess you need that. I guess you need that. She'll do a good job getting the shit beaten out of her by like Rina Yamashita and
Like
someone like
Siri.
that.
Imagine Siri
Yeah,
versus
Shuri.
Yosuke
That'd be
Santa
crazy.
Maria.
Okay, so let's go in order. Murph, read me your roster so far from 1 to 12 here.
Kairi, Takumi Hiroha, Siri, Saya Kamatani, Tomoka Inaba, Saki Akai, Azumi Mizuki, Miyuki Takase, Rina Yamashita, Hikari Noah, and Yosuke Santa Maria.
All right, all right. I got Mayu Iwatani, Miyu Yamashita, Utami, Hashimoto, Ano, Asuka, Rika Tatsumi, Hazuki, Ito, Starlight Kid, Nanai, and Ibuki Hoshi.
Very nice. I have Julia, Tam Nakano, Suzu Suzuki, Sari, Mio Momono, Natsupoi, Momo Watanabe, Maika, Mina Shirakawa, Maya Yukihi, Mei Sera, and Mika Iwata.
Okay, let's move on here. We got 15 minutes left. We're going to go into our 3 rounds of non-Japanese well, they can be like nationality wise Japanese, but they don't wrestle the majority of their matches in Japan. All right, let's kick it off, and we are going to go in reverse order to make it fair. Jamie-san, go ahead. You are first.
Can anyone guess who I'm going to pick?
Oh, who could it possibly
Who
be?
could it possibly be?
Just not fair.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously going to go with Mercedes Moné,
The bunny.
former IWGP Women's Champion. Obviously, was meant to be the New Japan Strong Women's Champion. Got an injury. I assume she'll pick that belt back up as soon as she's back in the ring. I think the best American women's wrestler ever. I don't think there's too much more to add to that point. So yeah, that's my first US women's pick.
I like it. Great pick. Great pick. It was the obvious pick. No, like, don't know anybody else who I would have gone for. She is the best in the world for a reason. Okay. I have a few that I'm trying to think of right now. I think there's one wrestler who has completely shown up and shown out over the last year or so in her respective promotion. I think there are a couple wrestlers who have shown best in the world capabilities, but just haven't had the opportunity to really over the last few years. I think Murph is going to pick one of these people regardless. But I can't let him get both. Right. So I am going to go. Gosh. The next 4 are really tough for me. I'm going to stick to my big board. I'm going to go with Jamie Hayter as.
I wasn't even going to thinking of her. So
well, now I feel bad. I wish I had gone with someone else. But yeah, Jamie Hayter. I mean, she's just been incredible over the last year, and she adds obviously a new dimension with all these great wrestlers in Stardom and TJPW and all this other stuff. So yeah, Hayter.
Ivan, you really I think this woman's the greatest American women's wrestler of all time. She's had some time off of wrestling in the last couple of years, but she's shown on pay-per-view with people like Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch that she's just on another level compared to anyone else in women's wrestling, and that is Charlotte Flair. It's easy, slam dunk pick, Charlotte Flair.
I like it. She's a great wrestler. I had her as number 8 on my American big board, but I think she's
I was praying that you didn't take her there because it was like a no-brainer.
Neither of us would have taken her in that position. I can go ahead and
I
promise
thought,
you that.
honestly, I just thought that was like a no-brainer pick. My next person I think's had the best year of any American women's wrestler in the last year. She was not supposed to be the champion, but she was champion, and she went and she's had great match after great match on different shows and on pay-per-view, and now she's finally back in the spotlight. She's the AW Women's World Champion, Toni Storm.
I like it. I got to be honest, Murph. She was not in my top 10 to pick here. I just think there are bigger stars, better wrestlers out of here, but it's not like I'm chuffed about it. You know what I mean? She's a good wrestler. She's very good in her spot. She did step up. She did step up in a really. The division was kind of in shambles last year.
Yeah, and
she definitely
had great matches. It was a no-brainer to me, Toni Storm.
Awesome. Okay.
And she has unfinished business in Japan, former red belt champion. So I feel like that was just a natural choice to do.
So I think there are a clear next 3 wrestlers, and I'll be pretty surprised if my pick and Jamie's 2 picks are not these next 3. I'm just deciding who I freaking want. Okay, I'm going to go with somebody who, despite being Japanese, really hasn't had a ton of interaction with most of the wrestlers on my roster, whether it's due to their debuting recently or her age or whatever, because she's a lot older than I think a lot of people realize she is. She's like 40. I'm going to go with my second Asuka on the roster, Asuka of WWE, former Kana. And she'll go back to Kana on my roster.
Great pick.
Yeah. I like. Yeah, she was definitely one I was about to pick if you didn't. So I don't know that you beat me to it there. Okay, my next pick. I'm gonna go for another Joshi wrestler who currently finds herself in America. I'm dipping myself back into AEW. Well, now I know who Merce is. Hikaru Shida. I'm gonna go for Hikaru Shida. I think she's the best women's wrestler in AEW for me. So so she's my next pick. I'm gonna instantly follow that up. Now I'm tempted to pick who Murph wants to pick.
No,
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna pick Riho.
Oh, damn you! That was absolutely my next pick. I didn't think anybody was going to pick her. I love Riho.
I've picked the 2 AEW big Joshis.
She's my favorite in AEW, and
I'm very sorry.
That's okay. That's a great pick.
I'm very, very happy with my US bracket of my.
So here's the deal. I am thrilled that Io freaking Sky fell to the 3rd round, and I'm so glad that I get to steal Murph's thunder. There were a couple. I mean, we are leaving some great wrestlers on the board. There are 2 or 3, I think, that stand above the rest. But it's Io, bro. I got Io and Mayu on the roster. Like, come on, man. Are you kidding me? Io Sky is my final pick of the draft. No brainer in that spot, in my opinion. Okay. I'm glad that Jamie made it easy for me, because I would have gone Riho if he hadn't. We were on the same wavelength there.
Yeah, I was trying to do Murph a favor, and then I forgot that you go next. I feel bad for Murph now.
I do have to preface this pick with, as a booker, I cannot be trusted with Britt Baker because she'd never lose. So I can't pick Britt Baker just because I would push her so much that it would just be unfair. Like, she would never lose a match. That's how high I have Britt Baker, so I can't pick her.
You've got Kyrie in the same promotion and Charlotte.
Oh yeah, and Britt would never lose. Okay, I'm gonna go with someone who's really been the most popular women's wrestler over the last.
This is a good pick.
She is currently a champion. She has been someone who's become one of the biggest stars of WWE. This person is the member of Judgment Day, Rhea Ripley.
Oh, I wrote down someone else.
Yeah, I think I know who you were going for, but when he said champion, I realized I realized what he was.
It's like
I don't follow WWE, so I don't know who the champions are.
This is a no-brainer with how Rhea Ripley has been received and how on fire she is in the match she had with Charlotte. and just how good her gimmick is right now with Dominic. Rhea Ripley, no brainer.
I just thought of a fucking incredible pick that no one's taken. And
Well, is it Mako?
It's not. It's Athena.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think she's just a step lower. Okay,
I think she's been the best.
Let's do that then. Let's talk quickly because we got a few minutes here.
Let's talk about
JOSHI. Yeah, the American JOSHI. Let's talk a little bit about by the way, so you know that Ring of Honor match between her and Sky Blue that was like so well received a month ago?
Yeah.
You remember that? So I just realized I saw that match. I saw not that exact one, but in Warrior Wrestling, they did Athena versus Sky Blue. Right? What's that?
At Notre Dame, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of there was a third woman in there, and I can't remember
I'll do that.
Off the top of my head who it was.
I should have taken the American JOSHI, Athena.
Yeah, but okay. So let's talk outside of Japan. I think the most obvious.
It was Shazza McKenzie.
Oh yeah, Shazza McKenzie was all, but that match was really good, and I was like, wow, okay. So yeah.
Did you go to Swerve versus Athena in Clive, Iowa?
No, I didn't. I wish I had. I did see Swerve versus Adam Brooks, which was awesome.
I like Adam Brooks a lot. Too.
Yeah, it was really good. Anyway, so I think the most obvious pick of somebody who was left on the board was Becky Lynch.
I was thinking Bianca Belair.
Bianca was also up there. I actually had Mako Satomura above both of them on my draft board, and I was anticipating drafting her actually, but Io Sky was left to me, and I was like, so I got 3 of my top 5 on my board.
I kind of forgot about Mako. Like, where is she right? She's just like not active at the moment.
She's just inactive.
Yeah,
but
she popped up on NXT America for a little bit, but I don't know. Is she like waiting for? Are they still doing NXT Europe? I don't know.
So yeah. What's the plan?
Yeah,
those are the obvious ones. I really didn't have anybody outside of that group, even in consideration.
Yeah, I think Athena for me. I think she's been the best like champion in American women's wrestling at the moment.
That's a good pick.
So I think I kind of like I realized when kind of the last picks were happening, I was like, fucking, I almost picked Athena, but I'm happy with my final pick. So
my next 3 after that was I had Bianca, I had Chris Stat, and I had Candice LeRae. That was my next 3.
Candice, not a bad choice. She's a really good wrestler. If they actually let her do things,
does she even do anything on WWE? Like, I feel like
I don't even know. I don't even
know. She's been on Main Event. She hasn't had a match since the 22nd of February, and before that, April, because she hasn't won.
They're putting the way back together, so I assume she's about to start doing
tag. I love the way. The way is a great stable. So
yeah, they'll be tag champs. So on the Japanese side, I thought the some of the obvious names. I'll just sort of list like 10 or so. Asahi and Arisa Nakajima I talked about in my last pick. Ami Sarai, I'm huge on. Mio Watanabe would have been a big pick. I think people will be surprised that she wasn't. Risa Sera as well. I had Aja Kong as somebody.
That was going to be one of my last ones.
Okay. Yeah. See, we were all just kind of, but it just ends up that there's always just somebody else out there who's like, man, I'd just rather have that person, right? Like I'd rather have Nanai and Ibuki Hoshi than Aja Kong in 2023. Yoshiko is technically still an active wrestler. She's injured, but she is like active, and so I think on an in-ring perspective, when she's on, she's as good as anybody. Yuka Sakazaki, of course, is the current TJ or was, I should say, the Princess Champion, and she's going to AEW, but she's been TJPW's number 2 star for like the entirety of their existence. So she's a big deal. Shoko as well. She was champion for a long time.
Shoko was up there for me.
Yeah, big like 9-month reign there. One that I was particularly surprised. This is probably the last person that I was surprised didn't get drafted. I don't think anybody below. Maybe Mirai was a little bit surprising, but that's it. Was Mei Saruga. I thought Mei Saruga was definitely going to be drafted at some point. I was really surprised that she wasn't. I was never going to draft her. Just I'm not that high on her, but I that was who I said I thought you were going to go for on your last round there, Jamie. But anybody else?
Yeah, when I picked May Sarah and I had my one stardom pick left, I very, very nearly picked Tekla because I think Tekla's
Okay.
amazing. But current artist was stardom champion, but I decided to go for May Sarah. But that was a tough choice. I think you kind of named a lot of the people there that I was like deliberating over. A few there. I had Aja Kong there, and I very, very nearly went for Aja Kong, just kind of for like the legendary status there at the end of my roster. But yeah, no, I think other than that, I think we kind of covered a lot of. We pretty much hit all the major names. Murph, is there anyone that you are surprised didn't make it?
Bianca Belair, I thought someone was gonna take in the American part, but outside of that, no.
I
But
suspect most people, if you did a 9-pick draft of American women's wrestlers, Bianca
Yeah.
Belair and Becky Lynch, frankly,
and
were going
Bailey,
that
I also
top
thought
9.
Bailey
But,
was gonna be up there too. But
but
no,
when EO was left on the board, I was like, come on.
that Io was gonna be my pick. That really hurt
Yeah.
that she got taken. But Ray, I really like Rhea, so it's fine.
All right, y'all. I'm pretty thrilled. I'm excited to post these on Twitter. See what people think. When we get these posted, we'll wait to post them after the episode airs. So you'll be
Yeah.
seeing this on Tuesday next week. Tuesday, what, the 13th? So look
Tuesday,
forward to
13th,
that.
30.
I hope when you're watching this that All Together was a fantastic
Hopefully,
show.
yeah.
And we'll have a lot more. We'll have Stardom, more Joshi to talk about. We'll have some Stardom stuff to preview, no doubt. Anything else big going on this weekend that we'll be able to react to?
Is Kobe next time?
No, it's
That'd
not.
be really
Isn't Kobe's not till July, right?
the first week though, so
Yeah,
it'd be
So it'll still be. We'll still have a couple.
But
shows
some
until
great stuff's
Kobe.
been announced for Kobe World, so I'd love to talk.
Oh,
about
you
that.
know what we'll be doing in 2 weeks is a Forbidden Door preview.
Right?
That's what
Yeah.
we'll be doing. Right. So, so await that. We'll see you in 2 weeks from now. A week from when you see this. All right.
We still have to do Beast of the Week though, right?
Yeah. Well,
I was about to say this. We obviously we're like you said at the start. We were recording this on Thursday. We obviously did the podcast live on Tuesday.
Should we predict a Beast of the Week?
I was about to say, but this could be an interesting, yeah.
I think we should do this out of All Together. Let's predict who we think is going to be the biggest beast.
Amy will
on
actually
that show.
post our Beast of the Weeks on Twitter. Like we'll just post them for next week, but on Tuesday. But we'll predict them right now. Let's do that.
Let's do that. I'm gonna say, well, Jamie, we usually start with you, but I'm sure we haven't thought about it.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go for one, and it's maybe a more obvious one, just because it's I haven't prepared for this. Kaito Kiyomiya will probably do something interesting with Okada. When that match, the main event for All In got announced. It's obviously a very, very star-studded lineup, and there's a ton of interactions that I'm sure people are looking forward to. But the biggest storyline going into the match is 100% the Kaito and Okada. Kind of the interactions between those two there, and especially heading into the G1, which Kaito will be, and you got to imagine that those two are going to mix up there as well. So it's either going to be a case here where this is leading into the G1 and Okada bitches him again, or Kaito is about to get one up over him. And I'm going to say that heading into the G1, Kaito is going to get one.
Ooh, I like that.
So Kaito Kiyomiya, you're my predicted Beast of the Week.
I like that. When I'm thinking of Beast of the Week, I'm thinking of some young guy, in these interpromotional stuff, the young guys, the young lions, the rookies, they're just extra motivated, right? They just seem like they're way more excited, and they get a big spot against people who they're not used to wrestling, so they have a lot to prove. Maybe this is the first time that some of these young guys on both promotions are exposed to a big portion of their audiences. So my eyes always gravitate to that. I considered going Yuma Anzai for my prediction here. He's in there against Lij and specifically Shingo. I think he and Shingo will continue to have fantastic chemistry, and he's teaming with Yuji Nagata and Suwama, which is just a stellar, star-studded team on the All Japan side against Lij. But I'm going to go with somebody who I think literally always has gone above and beyond when they've done interpromotional stuff. He is also a young boy, a rookie, even though he's pretty experienced at this point. I'm going to go with Pro Wrestling Noah's Yoshiki Inamura, who is going to be in there with Ishii and Goto and Yoshihashi. And it just feels like we're primed for some big time, hard hitting Haas boy interactions between those guys. So I'm going to go with Yoshiki Nomura.
I think I'm in too deep. I think I'm in too deep with these fucking non-wrestlers. At this point, if I pick a wrestler, people are like, "What the hell are you doing, Murph?" I'll start picking wrestlers again after I get a stoppage. But my beast of the week for this week, hopefully, is future Liverpool midfielder Kefren Thuram.
I knew it.
Kefren Thuram, please be a beast of the week and please come to Liverpool. At this point, I can't pick wrestlers because people think I'm sick or something. So, Kefren Thuram, you're my beast of the week.
If by next Tuesday is a Liverpool player, then this is going to be.
And it's going to be. I'm going to look like a visionary.
Podcast moments of all time.
Oh, my Fabrizio Romano. I mean, geez,
Hey, should we do? We usually do a collective beast of the week, but it's weird because nothing's happened. So do we all have
we'll save that for Tuesday.
I think. Well, here's what I think. I think we're all in agreement that no matter what happens, Okada is going to do something incredible, whether he's going to wrestle his ass off or he's going to be just this huge shithead, I'm better than you heel. I think we're all in agreement of that's going to happen at some point tomorrow when at the time of recording.
You see him in the press conference, he even took a shot at Tanahashi. It was like, you're like fucking trios champion with him right now.
And they're It's incredible. I love this man. I love the current edition of Okada. He's the best, and I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to do something incredible. So that'll be our collective prediction: is Kazuchika Okada ends up being a beast and altogether. Yeah. Okay, everybody. If you're watching this on a pre-record, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the Joshi draft. I'm really curious to see if you think we completely missed anything or whose team you think is the best. You'll obviously see the full rosters on Twitter when we post those at that time. And next week at the time of recording. Yeah, were you going to say something, Jamie?
I'll let you close out, but I have a few little points to add just right.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
You've got your video.
First, I was just going to say, as Parker was saying there, thank you for sticking with us with this pre-recorded episode. We've obviously not been able to interact with the live chat as we usually do.
I miss you all, Laz, Lamora. I miss you all.
Yeah, we miss you. My Portuguese friend, IDK.
IDK, they'll all be there. If you're still here, press the like button if you haven't already. I forgot to mention that because obviously, you aren't here yet. And then also, as Parker alluded to, I touched on it on Tuesday on last week's episode when you're watching this. My Stardom guide should be out by the time this podcast airs. If it's not, something's gone wrong and someone will be in trouble. But it should be out either last weekend or either today or yesterday, whenever you're watching this. So yeah, whether you're a current Stardom fan and you just want to show some support to the channel, maybe just watch the Scouse guy talk about Stardom for a little bit, or if you're unfamiliar with a lot of the people in Stardom looking to get into it, then that'll be a video for you. So go show that video support. It should be out when you see this. And yeah, that's it for me.
All right, everybody. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're still here, we are looking forward to I think we had fun, but it's not the same without the live chat. They they give us so much to bounce off of. It's just a ton of fun. So even if it's not super chats, just giving us stuff to look at and consider. Scarecrow, I forgot to shout you out, Zubaz. We appreciate all of you. All right, we will catch you next time on Dumb Guy Live. Stay dumb, everybody.